Welcome to Samskara Healing, a mystical world of magic and transformation. I am Jaya Palashri. I talk about smudging today, something very dear to me. The topic and the word smudging was introduced to me when I got into the path of healing and spirituality. So what is smudging? What am I talking about? Smudging is when we take dhoop, what we call dhoop, loban, which we use in our puja, and we use it to cleanse and clear space. Why do we do that? Why do we clear space? And what is the entire idea behind it? There is always accumulation of energy, and there is a lot of thick negative energy which can get stagnant. It can happen because of arguments, fights, negative energy like evil eye, jealousy, hatred. So when your space gets cluttered with energy, you start feeling very heavy and dense. So it's very important to every day cleanse your space. Some of us can't do it every day. At least once a week, it is mandatory and important to clear your space. By clearing your space, you clear the energy. When there's too much of energy, not only it depletes our energy, we start having headache, fatigue, and we start getting very cranky. And especially if you've had arguments and fights, energy feeds on energy. So it creates more discord and disharmony. And that is how there are major unrest, difficulties at home. Smudging is an easy way out. When it gets difficult, then you would need people like shamans to enter to clear the space. But if periodically you clear your space, it does a beautiful job of keeping your home light, the atmosphere positive, and a happy environment. Now, what are the things you can use for smudging and how do we smudge? I will also, before I end the video, I'm going to show you how to do the smudging. This is a very dear ritual to me, and I have learned it from my teachers. I have followed it and I do it every day without fail. And once a week, I make sure I smudge my entire home. The first thing that you need to do when you're smudging is have the right mindset, set the right intent, and after you do that, you need to open windows and doors. You need the air to have the shift. If you're going to close everything and try to smudge, then the stagnant air remains. So in case if you have a lot of negativity, like you feel heavy, you feel that there is stagnation, it's good to even open your cupboards and drawers and everything. Open your windows, open the door. Keep the space open when you smudge so that the smudging clears the environment and brings in the right kind of energy into the room. That's the first point. You could play music. You could play any music. You could play instrumental music. You could play any music like 𝐒𝐂𝐃𝐈𝐀 mantra, 𝐌𝐄𝐃𝐈𝐀. You could play, and if you want to play something else from the Western, you could play Amazing Grace. Choice is yours. It's your choice and your belief and your music. You could put that. Smudging has nothing to do with can I do it? Is it going to allow me with my religion? Everybody can do it and everybody does it, and it's good to do it to clear space. Now coming to the point of smudging. Now we know how to clear it. Open your space, and first before you start smudging, smudge yourself, because sometimes you can be the carrier. Clear your own space and energy, and then start clearing the space around you and remove everything which is not needed in your space. So there are various ways you could do smudging. One is you could use the bell. I hope you can see this clearly. You can use the bell. Many healers, especially shamans, they have something called the rattle. So you could use this. This helps in clearing and like if there is stagnation stagnation and starts clearing the air. There's something called the fanning feather. The fanning feather, this is made for me by a fellow healer who's a very good friend, dear friend of mine. So I asked her and she's made this feather for me. It's available online in case if you want. It's not that you need a fanning feather. Those of you who would love to have it and those of you who would love to do smudging as a ritual, you would need something called the fanning feather. Now I have my sacred altar and all this is placed on the altar. So you could have it in your puja room, you could have it in your home in a sacred space. You can have feathers. If you don't have feathers, it's okay. You can do it with anything. And by the way, using feathers, that's absolutely fine, but you should make sure you get the right kind and you set the right intent to get the right feathers. You could use the feathers. The rattle, if you want to procure, you get plenty online. The bell is there. You have your Tibetan sing bowl, you could use that. Now, if we have all that, the next thing that you need and what I truly love is the sage. Now my sage is used, so I'll show it from the other side. This is the sage. You get these, there's the white sage, there's black sage. Choice is yours. Now, if you don't have sage, you don't have the Palo Santo stick, do not worry and do not get stressed. You have the loban, and in Karnataka and South India we call it the sambrani. Please use that. You could use that and you could just light that and do the same thing that is done and clear your space. So sage is something many healers love and I truly love it, and it makes me feel, no matter how stressed I get, I just sage myself and there's a shift of energy immediately for me. So I love sage, I'm using sage, but you could use anything you want to, including Palo Santo, loban or sambrani, whatever you want to. Anything that calls out to you that you could use to sage. If you have nothing and you still want to sage, please take your incense stick, set the intent and use it until you procure something to use for saging. So now that I've shown you this, I will just walk around my space to just give you an idea how to do it. You could play music in the background. I actually wanted to, but then I didn't want to play music which would like reduce my kind of come in between my talk and you wouldn't be able to hear me. You could play music in the background, or you could just go about doing the saging just by chanting the mantra in your mind. I would take the bell. I'm showing it with the bell because it's easier for you. I would just ring it. First, remember, I would ring it near myself to clear my chakras, my space. Now I'm going to go to the different corners of my room to clear it. I come here, I clear this corner, and then I come this side to clear this corner. If you see, I'm continuously ringing the bell. It's to distort the energy. I come to the next corner, clearing this, and here I come to this corner. Now after I've done this, I come back and I take my sage. So normally what I do is, I take the sage, unless I really want to do a major smudging, I take my fan. Otherwise I just take my rattle and my sage and go about. Choice is yours how you want to do it. Light the sage. So as I'm lighting the sage and talking about it, through smudging, what are the benefits? How is it that you benefit? One is it clears the air, it purifies it. It also clears any kind of pathogens in the air, any kind of bacteria. Studies have been done to prove these points, and that's how I'm even saying it. It helps you release stress, anxiety. It helps you clear your mind. Any kind of argument and discord, you immediately go saging that space. It completely clears it. Of course, you can't go immediately holding it. People will think you're like lost it after the argument and fight. Is what I mean. I'm going to sage myself, starting at my crown chakra, Sahasrara. I'm going to go all around me on my every chakra. As I come down, don't forget our feet also has chakras. So I come to the foot for each foot, and then I go to the back, and I repeat it at the back. I take it this side and I repeat it again and again. If I have like a headache, I would smudge myself more because there is some kind of stagnation or some kind of a clog, and then I would clear my space, and after I've cleared my own space, I would hold something like this. This is called an abalone shell. You get it, it's available, but if you don't have it, you could use a plate. So you just don't get stressed seeing what I'm holding. You don't have to hold all these things, but it's beautiful to hold and sage or smudge with this. Keep this. I have some kind of a stressful day. If I'm really anxious, this is what I would do. Now that I've lit it, I would start intending and smudging my altar first. As I finish, I would start going to each corner. Can you see how I'm doing it? It's with this feather, I'm intending for it to move. Now, any kind of stagnation, any kind of negativity, any energy that's not needed in space may it be cleansed. So you can smudge every day, preferably early morning or evening. When you're smudging, please open the doors and windows to have fresh light come in. Please play some music. Ring the bell to distort energy. Then with smudging, you cleanse the air. You can help yourself ease stress, anxiety, depression. You could also work on clearing any kind of things where it's got to do with bacteria and pathogens in air. So I hope this video was successful. I hope you all enjoyed this. I thank you all. I thank you for watching this. Namaste.